It is WKYC.com. Very, very happy. I'm Dave DeNatale to be joined by Breckin Meyer. He is actor and executive producer of the upcoming movie, The Enormity of Life, which will open up on April 6th. Now, it will open up on Apple TV, on many of your streaming services. It'll be on DVD, and for those of us in Northeast Ohio, we've got a chance to actually go watch the premiere. It's a VIP screening at the Atlas Cinemas on Lakeshore Euclid. We'll talk more about that in a second. Breckin, welcome. I say welcome back to Cleveland.
Thank you.
It's been a couple of years since you were here filming this movie.
Yeah.
First thing, I'm just happy. Take me through the process, because you, as not just the actor, but an executive producer of taking this project and finally getting to see it to fruition all these years later.
Yeah, I mean, it's interesting with independent films. It's always, there's always there's always risks, in the sense that you can do all of this for not, you can do the whole thing and it just never sees the light of day. But also the benefit of independent films is you get to do things that maybe you wouldn't necessarily get to do in the mainstream. There's a certain character or certain pigeonholing that happens in mainstream movies because they like what you did that was successful. So, hey, just do that again over and over again and we'll be happy. But as an actor, you want to keep doing what you haven't done. I always say the project I want to do next is the opposite, whatever is the opposite of what I just did. And this definitely fell into that category. I mean, it's a very, very different movie than I've ever done. And it's a very, very different character than I've ever played. And it was one of those things. I mean, coming aboard as exec producer was just, again, wanting to have as much say and as much kind of information as I could as we were making the movie, and as much knowledge and as much input as I could. And so that was kind of, I think it's one of my first EP jobs as far as a actor goes. I mean, I think Changeland with Seth Green, I think was exec producer on that too. Mm-hmm. And that was a labor of love because I was getting to work with my best friend. So,
how did you get kind of connected with Eric Swinderman, who's the director? He's a Cleveland native, and
he's a local.
That's the
yeah,
reason why you were able to film it here. How did you get connected with him?
Honestly, the script just came through my agent. I mean, just the normal channels of someone sent me a script. I read the script. I thought it was very, very different. And then I think Eric and I talked on the phone, and he seemed like he had a real concrete vision of what he wanted to do with Casey and with this movie. And so I signed on, and then cut to us in Cleveland.
How'd you like Cleveland? I mean, you had to be here for a few weeks to kind of film all this and be around and take it. I mean, I know you were born in Minneapolis, but I know you kind of, growing up like many of us, you kind of moved around the place. But I feel like you're a Midwest guy, and I feel like you would have gotten into Cleveland pretty quickly.
Yeah, I didn't have it's funny. I didn't have a tremendous amount of time to do much because of work, which is the disappointing part about being there. The one thing I did, I was lucky enough. I went to the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame, got to see the Cavs play in the championships with LeBron. So that was very, very, very exciting as a big basketball fan. That was super fun. I'm trying to think. I'm going to blank on the restaurants and stuff because, again, it was all around my hotel, which was right across from where the Cavs play. Nice. So it was always just, there was a Mexican taco place right next to me that was fantastic that I was basically every day after work I would go to. And then I'm a giant ice cream fanatic. So my whole thing was trying to find the best ice cream sundae in Cleveland. And I found a bunch of them. There's one, I have a photo. I have to look it up because I don't want to offend anybody. I think it starts with an M. It's far away, but I went there, and that was my favorite ice cream joint that I found. But we had a great time there. I wish I could have seen more. I mean, again, when you're doing independent, you don't have the luxury of a lot of free time and a lot of blah, blah, blah. It was just work. So the places I saw mainly in Cleveland are the locations of the sets we were filming on. Yeah.
You mentioned this is you've got a great body of work going back to into the 90s. People will remember you from Clueless, Garfield, the work you've done in television. It's a tremendous body of work. But to play this character Casey, I mean, you take the audience on a really emotionally mental journey. And as somebody who's dealt with mental health issues, I haven't seen the movie yet, but just watching the trailer, I was captivated with what you had to do into this film. Can you talk about the preparation and the work in terms of mental health that you kind of did for this role?
Yeah, I mean, I've dealt with friends and family who have been suffering from various mental health issues, and bipolar, borderline personality disorder, and general anxiety issues. I've kind of delved into all of that through various relationships and stuff. But the crazy thing about Casey, and originally, this isn't spoiling anything, but originally the movie was called Anhedonia, which is I think also what Annie Hall was originally called, or one of Woody Allen's movies. But anhedonia is the inability to feel pleasure in anything, and that's including your job, it's including money, it's including sex, it's including love. It's just something inside you that you are incapable of feeling that. And I researched that, and I read a lot about guys who suffer from that, or guys meaning everybody, men and women, who suffer from, just general guys who suffer from it. And it was so interesting to kind of wrap your brain around it, because it's a different form of depression. It's, this is people, you can see people on the street who might be inflicted with this and you would have no idea. You could even carry on a conversation. It's not like they're just sitting there all mopey and stuff. They are trying to feel. They're trying to kickstart what's going on and what's lacking. And it was really interesting to find those levels, because also, as an actor, sometimes you read a scene, you're like, oh, he's angry in this scene and blah, 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 or oh, he's really happy in this. Like, hang on. What's his version of that, though? His version of that is very different from my version. And my version of happy would be, it wouldn't mirror Casey's at all. So it was really interesting. And again, I overuse this word as an actor, but it was really fun to delve into that. Again, I spend 24 hours a day with me, so I enjoy not being me. And this was a chance to really not be me. And Casey is a very different character. And this movie is a very different film. And especially now, with whether you want to call it the sensitivity that everyone is having, there's also cancel culture. There's everyone just kind of tiptoeing, not knowing where exactly to stick their neck out. And this movie falls into that category where it's a I think it is a polarizing film. And I mean that in a good way, because hopefully it does lead to conversation and lead to investigation and more information being known about this type of ailment. But it's tough. It's also a tough movie. It's funny. It's a tough movie to watch in some ways. And some of my favorite movies are tough to watch in what they make you feel and what they make you think about. And I think this falls in that category. Again, Enormity of Life. It's a big subject.
Right.
And, it's a big subject to tackle. And Casey is a very different character. And I will say Giselle Eisenberg is my favorite human being on the planet in this movie, who's the little girl, and Emily Kinney, who's fantastic. But Giselle, we have some scenes together, and Giselle's just smarter than anybody on the set. And she's, I don't know, at the time she was 9 or 11 maybe. So it was really fun. It was a really fun cast. It was just a really interesting shoot. It really is an interesting film. I'm very curious to see what people think of it. Usually you can kind of tell when you make a movie. You can usually kind of go, all right, this is a comedy. They'll either laugh or they won't. This is kind of everything. It's a dramedy, but it's also this kind of road picture, and then it's also straight drama at points, and then it's a love story as well. And I'm curious what people will take from it. I really am. It's one of the few movies I've done where I'm like, I don't know. I really don't know what people are going to take out of it. I'm so curious to see. You
mentioned your co-stars, Emily and Giselle. The three of you are going to be on that VIP night I mentioned, that screening at Atlas Cinemas. And by the way, go to enormityvip.com if you want to learn more about that. The three of you are going to be doing back here on Zoom. You're going to be doing a little Q&A with people. So, I feel like we're warming you up to talk to more Clevelanders. Yeah, I'll wear a different shirt. Maybe it'll have buttons on it, something a little classier than this whole thing. I must say this. I'm doing. By the way, this furry nightmare mountain man you're seeing before you is a project I'm doing right now. So I'm in the middle of shooting. Yeah, so I'm in the middle of shooting right now. So yeah. But again, so that'll be on April the 6th. Breckin, I can't thank you enough for this. This is I can't wait to see this film. Again, it opens April 6th. Apple TV, you can stream it. You can get the DVDs, many of your streaming services, or again, you can attend the April 6th VIP screening at Atlas Cinemas Euclid.
Yes.
Good luck on this film. I really hope that people get out of it what you and Eric and the rest of the cast are, put into this. And I'm sure it's gonna be worth the wait. You've had to wait so long here to get this thing put out here. I can't wait to see it. I know a lot of people will be looking forward to seeing Cleveland and your performances in this movie.
Thank you, Dave. I appreciate it. Yeah, hopefully it sparks conversation. Honestly, that would be kind of the best result.
Yep. Keep the conversation going. He is Breckin Meyer, and we appreciate him joining us here at WKYC.com.